Hey everybody, Mr. Kevin here, and welcome to another Curved Cabinets of Benbow. I think this is episode number 2. Alright, so on this episode of Curved Cabinets of Benbow, we're going to go over a little bit of resawing, a little bit of milling, a little bit of drum sanding, and everything I do to prep my pieces of wood to make them curved like this. We're going to go over a little bit of resawing on the old bandsaw here. I had a little technical glitch I'm going to go over with my bandsaw. First time ever in my entire life. But it's a good thing to know, and we'll go over that shortly. So I had somebody ask me the other day if everything was curved on the doors and the cabinets and all that stuff, if all the stiles were curved too. So the rails are definitely curved. The raised panels are curved. But all the door stiles, which go right here, are not. They're all straight. A little bit of sanding, everything looks like it's 100% curved. Because to curve a little piece of wood like this would just be too damn hard and too ridiculous. We're going to do a little curved cabinets of Benbow, raised panel curve, preparation, milling, blah. All right, let's get to it. Off I go, and we'll see you in a minute. All right, enjoy. Thanks for watching. Bye. Hey everybody, Mr. Kevin here. We're going to start on resawing a bunch of little boards here so we can make some curved raised panels. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to join the edge and rip it to 6 1/8, and then we're going to face joint the one side and rip it on the bandsaw. Just going to record it real quick, filming on the GoPro, so sorry for the quality, that's the way it goes. So what I'm going to do now is go set up over on the bandsaw, and we'll set the blade at like 3/16. That'll give us plenty to sand off later because we want everything to be about 1/8. And yeah, so that's what we're going to do now. So I'll see you over on the bandsaw. Okay. So we have our pile of wood that we've ripped to 6 1/8. I was going to face joint the one edge, but the first one I'm going to do, I'm going to see if I can just, how it comes out. I would like to get 4 pieces out of this. This is 3/4 of an inch. There's a 1/16 inch blade on there. And between each rip I'm going to do on the bandsaw, I'm going to go over and face joint it. So I might not be able to get what I need. So I'm going to find out on the first one, and then we'll go from there. This is a little 3/16 shim. I have my 1-inch blade on there, carbide tip blade. And what I did is I just slid this in here on the fence, just barely shy. What I want to get, and what I'm trying to do right here, is bump this over so it's just barely shy of 3/16. The other thing I like to do before I start resawing anything is to make sure I'm square. So I got me a plastic square right here. Put up against the fence, look at that, and it is square. And just check the blade too, just to make sure everything's on the up and copacetic. That looks good, and that looks good. Excellent. Let's come down a little bit. Here's my hunk of wood that I need, so I want to keep it as close as I can to the all the wheels and rollers. Make sure the jointed side is down. Yeah, I'm probably only going to get 3 cuts out of this if I'm lucky. So for those of you who don't know, you can see this. This is how you make a book match panel. If you wanted it 3/4 thick, you take a piece of 8/4 and rip it down the middle, and resaw it, put it back together. You have yourself a book match panel. And that's what I'm going to do with these 2 panels. I'm going to cut all these up, find the best ones that, you know, for the very face, and then we'll go from there. Micrometer. That's really 3/16. And that's really 3/16. And what I have left is 9/16. So I'm going to try to make this a little bit narrower because I don't really need 3/16. This came out pretty good. It's fairly flat and all that. I'm just going to sand this side with my drum sander and leave this alone until I get to the last couple of passes. So let's do this. Set it up again. All right, that's 1 full tooth. That's exactly 1/16 of an inch. There you go. Book match eyeball. Pretty cool. Yep. 5:30 seconds. That's what we want. So we're going to go with that. I'm only going to get 3 for a 3/4 inch piece, and that's okay. So I only have to make 24 of these. And then after we've cut them all, we're going to glue them all together like this after the glue dries. And we're going to glue them together with tape. You know, the tape trick. And after we do that, then after we glue them together with tape and they sit for 24 hours, then I'm going to sand them with my drum sander, my little cheesy drum sander I have. Sand them to a little less than 1/8 of an inch thick. And then we're going to put them in a vacuum bag and suck them down and bend them. And I'll show you how all that goes. All right. I'll see you in a while. I got a lot to do. All right. You have an awesome day. See you soon. It's been a hell of a day. We had a little mishap on the bandsaw. Nothing major, just and I filmed it. Well, I didn't really film what was happening. But if you're ever using your bandsaw and something just don't seem right to you and your saw starts popping like this, you know, going in and out, and it's starting to make weirder noises, you might have a problem like this. I don't know if you can see that or not. My blade started cracking. It's probably a stress crack. And let's see, can you see it? Yeah, it's right there. Yeah. So as I was cutting the last part, these guys right here, the last part of the drawer front raised panels, the center parts, they're 5 inches tall. It started doing this weird chattering noise. Cha, 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 cha. I'm like, what the hell's going on? That seemed weird, so I stopped the saw and I looked on all the wheels. Maybe something was stuck on a wheel and it was going weird, and then I turned the power off and free-spun it, and it was doing the same thing, and the blade was going yomp, yomp, yomp. And didn't do that 2 minutes ago because I was cutting these right here, and you can see it's nice and smooth. It's a good cut. Nothing wrong with that cut. It's beautiful. But it started doing these little chattering things. Chat, 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 chat. And it was cutting fat on the top and skinny on the bottom, which it hasn't done the whole entire time. I've had that blade for probably, I don't know, 4 or 5 years. It's getting a little dull, but it's carbide tip, right? So it's one of my favorite blades. Very expensive. But it cracked. So, let's see, I don't know if you can see how easy that came apart. I don't know what I'm going to do with this now that's in 2 pieces. I could have this welded back together probably. Yeah, but it's got to be by a certified welder who knows what the hell they're doing. Otherwise, you could be in for a big problem. So, you know, it's always good to pay attention when you're bandsawing stuff. If something doesn't feel right or doesn't sound right or it's acting strange, just turn off your machine and stop and check it out. Just don't ignore it and keep going through it, because something bad could happen. Now, if that blade would have broke, I've had blades break before, and it's not that big a deal, really. I've never had them do anything crazy, explode and fly everywhere and cut off people's arms and stuff. I'm sure it could be bad. I've never seen anything bad happen from a blade popping. I've seen people cut themselves pretty good on a bandsaw when it's not even running. So, yeah. So you always got to be careful around a bandsaw. So I have a Grizzly drum sander, the G0458. So if you're thinking about buying one of these, they work. I'll say that much. They roll around and they sand things. Putting the paper on and off, it takes about a month and a half to get used to. The paper looks like this. You got to cut your own. After the first couple of them, you got to cut your own, which isn't really hard to do. Just kind of a pain in the butt. The biggest problem I have, other than this bolt that was up here, fell off right off the bat. And now it just kind of rattles around like that. The biggest problem is tracking. with this same little, this is what came with the machine, a little Allen wrench. Come down here and you adjust it, tension this way or that way, and it moves back and forth. What happens over time is it moves this way and it'll start pinching out over here, which I'm about 3/4 of an inch away, so I have to watch that. And then you have to raise this one up a little bit so it starts shoving it this way. And then once it gets over this way, it'll actually come off the end. When I just started this was almost an inch over here. So I let it run for 5 minutes, loosen everything up, and tried to shove this stupid thing over. I don't know how you make a better design, but this is just crap. It's a good machine to have because it actually will thickness sand, pieces like this. And these are a little fat of an 1/8 of an inch. The other problem is, and I've tried it for about 4 hours one day to get this the same thickness on both sides, and you can adjust the bolt and go up and down and feeler gauges and blah, 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 on and on it goes. And I did that, and I got it pretty close. I got it within a couple thousandths maybe. So you put it in this side, and it takes off more meat over here than it does here. So you put it in this side first, and it comes out the other side, and you flip it over because it'll be tapered a little bit, and then you put it in that side. And you let it go through, and on it goes. And when you have a pile like this, it gets quite tedious, and you almost forget what you're doing half the time. You talk about boredom. That's why I got to listen to some Metallica or something like that. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to do. So here we go. Hope don't fall asleep. I'll speed it up. So one way you can help yourself out is to scratch on it on one side. Hey everybody, Mr. Kevin here. Well, we've drum sanded all the parts together for the little panels, for that little pie-shaped, we're going to call it the guest bathroom vanity. And I didn't book match out all the pieces, but what I do is I just put that little hieroglyphic there in the middle. Because most of these, you're only going to see the top one. These are all going to get buried in there somewhere, but it's good to have the grain kind of, it's just good practice, I guess. Yeah. And so now we're going to glue them up. These things are barely 1/8 of an inch by 6 1/8 or something. And what I do when I glue this stuff up is I just use a scrap piece of 1/4 inch pre-finished maple because it's just scrap laying around and it's easier to clean up. And I put a piece of 3/4 inch material, which this came off my drill press because it's just sitting over there doing nothing. And I screwed that down to my bench, put these two together. Make sure the seam looks good, and it looks pretty good. I'm cutting strips that are like 8 inches long because I want to stretch the tape. When you stretch the tape, that's your clamp. That acts as the clamp. How many pieces do we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and that's enough. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put 3 on this side, and I'm going to flip it over and put 3 on the other side. Got a little bottle of Type Bond 3, the ultimate wood glue. Not a sponsor, but I like it a lot. So I usually have a little roller that I do this with because this is just silly. And I just roll these on a roller. But I can't find it. And I don't have time to look for it, so I should just finger it. You know what I should do? I should get a little brush out and brush it. But this will work. You don't need much glue when your glue joint's only 1/8 of an inch. And I'm hoping that it stays together because I got to bend it the wrong way. What I mean by the wrong way is instead of bending it this way with the seam going across, I'm bending it with the seam right in the middle, right where it wants to pop. And that's not any good if it pops. Okay, so we got this together. We're flush on the ends. We're all lined up. We're going to start in the middle. Does that sound familiar? Start in the middle. Putting this piece down, rub it down really good, and we're pulling. Okay, come across this way. That's pretty good. Now we're going to do the end. Rub it down really good, like you mean it, and pull. All right, and we're going to do the other side. And if you get them too tight, the whole thing will just fold up on. It'll fold up in half on you. Like that. You see that? So then you got to flip it over. And you're going to get glue everywhere, but this has to go through the drum sander one more time after I get all these glued up. There we go. That's why you tape both sides. So they're both pulling, and it'll keep it flat that way. Unless you over tighten one side and don't tighten up the other and blah, 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 then you'll have problems. This is how it goes. So on the outside edge, and then you pull. Oops. All right, then we just wipe off the extra glue. Do a little taparoonie. And now's when you check to make sure, get this off of here, that your seams are all lined up. I mean, it's so thin, it's kind of ridiculous. It's like, but I can't resaw something that's 12¼ inches wide and come out decent. So this is why we're doing this. All right, you're gonna give it the old feel job. Feeling the seam, that is. All right, that feels pretty good. Flip it over, check the other side. That feels pretty good, and there you go. Wow. You can see it's kind of flat, right? Not bad. And now we're going to take this over here and put it on something flat. All right, same thing. And one of these we're going to actually use for the face. We'll just pick out the best one once they're all sanded. And when we go to glue it up. So after this, I'm going to let it sit for 24 hours. Tomorrow I'll sand it again. Do like this. This sure is a little tiny glue joint. Look at that. Ooh. Look how small that is. Good golly. So we're going to make a jig for the vacuum press for this radius here, which we're also going to use for the, it's actually this right here. It's this right here, this radius. So we're going to make a jig that we can lay these panels on, and also the top and bottom rail for the doors and the face frames. They're all in the same radius, and it all kind of works out that way with curved stuff because these are all inset. So these are all the doors, right? So you got the face frame is on in line with the rails, the stiles, and everything else. So it's all the same curve, and yeah. This is how it's going to go in here like this. See how that is? It's just going to be bent like that. Anyway, all right, we're going to glue things up. All right, well, I'm done here. So this is what I'm going to do. I got another 15 of these things to glue up before I get to be done with work, and it's 5 o'clock. So I'm going to get to it. Well, thanks for watching, and if you have any comments or any questions, please do so below. And yeah, if you're new to the channel, subscribe, like, hit the notification bell, fling flang the bang bang. Oh yeah. Oh. You have an awesome day. Go outside and play. Hug somebody you love, and be safe out there. And I'll see you next time right here on the YouTubes on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. That's me. All right, I got to throw something at you now. Yeah, Kermit. I'll just throw Kermit at you. Ready, go. Ah, damn it, it missed. Here, see if I can throw the lens on there. Ready? Here we go. We're gonna see how this works. Okay, I'm gonna try to chuck the lens right on there. Ready? Woodworking isn't always fun.
Sometimes it's boring.
Still going. Dagnabbit. First day I got it, I broke it. Yep. So it's probably baloney. And you give it the little wiggle job down here like this. Wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. Beautiful Betsy the joiner. Everything's named Betsy. It's magic. I don't really pay attention that much. You can tell that, right? Huh? It works better. Two-tip Tuesday. I'm thinking about making just like 5-minute videos. I'll do a daily vlog. Yeah, that would be kind of ridiculous. And there you go. It's magic. All right, see? It'll hold together through me doing stupid crap to it. Works good. How to make a curved raised panel. That's how we're doing it. Yeah, I guess it is, huh? How to make a curved raised panel. Hasta mañana. Or what's the other one? ¿Dónde están los baños? And that's where I'm going right now. Bye-bye.